Last Sunday, as the final preparations for the raid were underway, President Obama continued with his charade of business as usual. Most people in the White House, including some of his closest aides, had no idea what was about to happen. To break the tension and to clear his head, he played some golf in the morning, waiting for the sun to go down in Pakistan. Then he returned to the White House for the most critical 40 minutes of his presidency. In mid-afternoon, he gathered the architects of the mission in a windowless room in the White House basement to watch it all unfold.
The story will continue in a moment.
I want to go to the Situation Room.
Yeah.
What was the mood?
Tense.
People talking?
Yeah, but doing a lot of listening as well, because we were able to monitor the situation in real time, getting reports back from Bill McCraven, the head of our Special Forces operations, as well as Leon Panetta. There were big chunks of time in which all we were doing was just waiting. And it was the longest 40 minutes of my life, with the possible exception of when Sasha got meningitis when she was 3 months old, and I was waiting for the doctor to tell me that she was all right. It was a very tense situation.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
What could you see?
We were monitoring the situation, and we knew as the events unfolded what was happening in and around the compound, but we could not get information clearly about what was happening inside the compound.
Right. And that went on for a long time. Could you hear gunfire?
We had a sense of when gunfire and explosions took place.
Flashes.
Yeah. And we also knew when one of the helicopters went down in a way that wasn't according to plan. And as you might imagine, that made us more tense.
So it got off to a bad start.
Well, it did not go exactly according to plan, but this is exactly where all the work that had been done anticipating what might go wrong made a huge difference.
There was a backup plan.
There was a backup plan.
You had to blow up some walls.
We had to blow up some walls.
When was the first indication that you had found the right place, that bin Laden was in there?
There was a point before folks had left, before we had gotten everybody back on the helicopter and were flying back to base, where they said Geronimo has been killed. And Geronimo was the code name for bin Laden. And now, obviously, at that point, these guys are operating in the dark with all kinds of stuff going on. So everybody was cautious, but at that point, cautiously optimistic.
What was your reaction when you heard those words?
I was relieved, and I wanted to make sure those guys got over the Pakistan border and landed safely. And I think deeply proud and deeply satisfied of my team.
When did you start to feel comfortable that bin Laden had been killed?
When they landed, we had very strong confirmation at that point that it was him. Photographs had been taken. Facial analysis indicated that, in fact, it was him. We hadn't yet done DNA testing, but at that point we were 95% sure.
Did you see the pictures?
Yes.
What was your reaction when you saw them?
It was him.
Why haven't you released them?
You know, we discussed this internally. Keep in mind that we are absolutely certain this was him. We've done DNA sampling and testing. And so there is no doubt that we killed Osama bin Laden. It is important for us to make sure that very graphic photos of somebody who was shot in the head are not floating around as an incitement to additional violence, as a propaganda tool. That's not who we are. We don't trot out this stuff as trophies. The fact of the matter is this was somebody who was deserving of the justice that he received. And I think Americans and people around the world are glad that he's gone. But we don't need to spike the football. I think that given the graphic nature of these photos, it would create some national security risk, and I've discussed this with Bob Gates and Hillary Clinton and my intelligence teams, and they all agree.
There are people in Pakistan, for example, who say, look, this is all a lie. This is another American trick. Osama's not dead.
There's no doubt that bin Laden is dead. Certainly there's no doubt among al-Qaeda members that he's dead. And so we don't think that a photograph in and of itself is going to make any difference. There are going to be some folks who deny it. The fact of the matter is you will not see bin Laden walking on this earth again.
Was it your decision to bury him at sea?
It was a joint decision. We thought it was important to think through ahead of time how we would dispose of the body if he were killed in the compound. And I think that what we tried to do was consulting with experts in Islamic law and ritual to find something that was appropriate, that was respectful of the body. Frankly, we took more care on this than obviously bin Laden took when he killed 3,000 people. He didn't have much regard for how they were treated and desecrated. But that, again, is something that makes us different.
When the mission was over and you walked out of the Situation Room,
yeah.
What did you do? What was the first thing you did?
I think I walked up with my team, and I just said, we got him.
Good job.
The White House released video that captured the mood as aides and congressional leaders were given the news.
The reason I'm calling is to tell you we killed. I'm starting to get a buzz. We killed him.
And the president thanked cabinet members and advisors after Sunday night's speech.
Good job, National Security Team. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm proud of it. You guys did a great job.
They did.
It was a moment of great pride for me to see our capacity as a nation to execute something this difficult this well.
In a moment, President Obama talks about our allies in Pakistan, why he chose not to tell them about the mission, and where we go from here now that bin Laden is dead.